All right, let's just dive right in. We are literally surrounded by invisible worlds. Some are hidden by the insane pressure of deep time. Others are buried under all the tech we use every day. But what if I told you there's a blueprint for seeing them? Well, today, we're going to give you that blueprint. So let's kick things off with a question that it feels kind of impossible, right? A real jolt to the system. Could there have been another us on Earth millions and millions of years before our story even began? Just let that sink in for a second. Now, the really wild part, this isn't just some science fiction what if. It's a geological fact. You see, the Earth's surface is this relentless recycling machine. I mean, think about it. Any trace of our world, this building, your house, all of it, will eventually be ground down into just a thin layer of dust. It's the planet's ultimate magic trick. Yeah, there's actually a name for this whole mind-bending idea, the Silurian hypothesis. It's a thought experiment that asks a pretty profound question. If some other industrial society existed ages ago, what kind of breadcrumbs would they have even left behind for us to find? The whole problem really starts with this one absolutely massive number, 4.5 billion years. That's the scale we're dealing with here. A number so huge our brains just aren't built to handle it. It's almost more of an idea than a number you can actually feel. So how on earth do you make a number like that mean something? You've got to find a way to visualize it, to really get a gut feeling for the sheer, crushing scale of deep time. Okay, so imagine Earth's entire 4.5 billion year history squeezed into a single 12-hour clock. The planet forms right at midnight. The dinosaurs? They don't even go extinct until 2 minutes to noon. And us, modern humans, we show up a mere 19 seconds before the clock hits 12. And that's the whole point. Just look at all that empty time on the clock. Hours and hours where other stories could have easily played out.
So, if we can't look for ruins or old buildings, what's left? Well, you look for ghosts in the rock. Chemical ghosts. Think of them as geochemical fingerprints, these weird, unexpected spikes of elements that just scream industry. For instance, there was this mysterious, super-fast warming event 56 million years ago that looks an awful lot like what we're doing to the climate right now. Of course, if this lost civilization ever aimed for the stars, the real evidence might not be on Earth at all. Anything they left on the moon would be perfectly preserved, like an exhibit in a silent, airless museum.
Okay, so we've been digging for ghosts in ancient rock. Now let's jump forward, way forward, and look for them in a world we use every single day, the internet. Because it turns out our digital world, it might be just as haunted. This is what's known as the dead internet theory. And here is where these two invisible worlds connect with this amazing paradox. What if a civilization gets so advanced, so efficient, that it leaves almost no physical trace at all? Its world becomes invisible not because it's ancient, but because it's clean and digital. It exists in the wires, not in the rock. And our internet? It's the first step in that direction, a whole world of activity that will never, ever leave a fossil. And get this isn't some far-off future speculation. It is happening as we speak. For the very first time, automated bots are now creating more traffic on the internet than actual human beings. We are officially in the minority on our own network. And it gets even weirder. In controlled studies, some of the latest AI models are now perceived as being more human in their writing than we are. It's creating this kind of digital haunted house where you can never be quite sure if you're talking to a real person or just a ghost in the machine. So what's driving this dead internet? It's basically an economy of ghosts. You've got AIs creating endless streams of cheap, low-quality content specifically designed to get clicks from, wait for it, other bots. It's this bizarre closed loop where machines make stuff for other machines just to game this system. And we humans are kind of left on the outside looking in. So, we've explored these invisible worlds, both ancient and digital. But how did we make these ideas visible to you right now in this moment? For the rest of this, we're going to pull back the curtain. We're going to give you the secret code we've been using this entire time. It all starts right here. 0.4 seconds. That is how long any piece of content, this one included, has to grab your attention before your thumb keeps scrolling. It is the fundamental rule of the modern internet. So to beat that 0.4 second clock, you have to aim for what psychologists call the System 1 brain. This is your lizard brain. It's all about gut reaction. It's fast, it's emotional, it's totally automatic. It's the part of you that reacts to a sudden movement or a bright color before you even know you're doing it. But just catching your eye isn't enough.
To actually keep you here, we have to engage your System 2 brain. This is your slower, more logical, more analytical brain. And you can't hook it with just a pretty graphic. No, it needs a puzzle, a contradiction, an uncomfortable truth, like, say, the idea that an entire civilization could be buried right under your feet. And it all follows a surprisingly simple formula. First, you get the jolt, that uncomfortable question about a lost civilization. Then comes the twist, that surprising fact that the Earth basically erases its own history. And finally, you get the payoff, a clear model, like that 12-hour clock, that makes it all make sense. If that sounds familiar, it's because that is the exact playbook we used to open this whole thing. But look, a good story structure is only half the battle. To make these ideas truly crystal clear, you need a visual blueprint. So let's break down how we actually designed all this. We follow a few simple, powerful rules. The most important number, our hero statistic, is always the biggest thing on the screen. The text is super high contrast, so it's a breeze to read, even on a tiny phone. Even the soft, off-white background is a conscious choice. It makes these really heavy topics feel a bit calmer, more approachable. The whole thing is designed so you can get the gist in a single glance, even if you're watching with the sound off. And finally, the visual style itself is telling a story. The hand-drawn feel, the subtle film grain, it's a little technique called analog nostalgia. And why do we do it? Well, in a world that's getting flooded with slick, sterile, AI-generated slop, these little human imperfections send a really powerful signal. A person was here, this was made by a human.
So, we've gone on quite a journey, haven't we? From the deepest layers of the planet's past to the hidden architecture of our digital lives, and even into the very design of the screen you're looking at right now.
When you really boil it down, whether we're talking about geochemical fingerprints in ancient rocks or trying to spot bots hiding in our social media feeds, the fundamental challenge is the same. Learning to see what's hidden, whether it's by deep time or by complex code, is quickly becoming one of the most critical skills we need to get by. We've just handed you the blueprint for seeing, the formulas, the psychological triggers, the design principles. The tools are officially yours now. So the only question left is, what invisible worlds are you going to start to see?